Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about Big Little Lies, Season 2, Episode 5. It's called Kill Me. So, full spoilers for the
Kill
episode.
me.
As always. There's please kill me lines at one point in this episode from a certain mother. Unfortunately not Mary Louise. I might have enjoyed that scene. I might have been like, yeah, do it. Get a pickaxe or something. Go to town.
Kill me.
It is, in fact, though, Bonnie's mother who utters that line towards the end of the episode. We get some more.
We're jumping way ahead.
Oh, we are. Yeah, well, I was going to lead that into just talking about Bonnie first, even though Bonnie's plot's not necessarily the first plot I think of when I think of Big Little Lies, but we get a little bit more. We find out more of her mother treated her as a kid. We see small glimpses and flashbacks here or there where she's waiting at the hospital and she's falling asleep, and we see some conversations with her father, where he's like, "I tried to protect you." It's like, "Well, you didn't do a good job," and and so on and so on. How did you feel about Bonnie stuff?
I felt very bad for her, because I think I heard that in the book series that Bonnie recognizes that Celeste is in an abusive relationship, like at the party when they're all dressed up, which is why she follows her into where her and Perry are fighting and the accident ultimately happens. But it seems as though her abusive relationship is actually with her mother. Like her mother has some real anger issues, and Bonnie's been a victim her whole life. And there's a lot of emotional stuff in this episode, and that was one of them for me.
Yeah. It's funny, I almost feel guilty. Back when we first met her mother and father, we kind of joked about how they seemed very similar. Just because one was black and one was white, we sort of joked about how it feels like, oh, they're in a kind of similar relationship. The dad's kind of like Nathan, but
Nathan is a lot like her dad, though. I mean, we see even when they walk in together into the hospital room, they're wearing like the exact same outfit. They stand the same way.
Oh, sure. But what I mean is that Bonnie's very different from her mother. So it's definitely not the exact same relationship by any means. And I think that's really clear in this episode specifically, because we even have a scene where, our daughter comes up and hugs her in the hospital, and it's this very sweet moment. And you feel like, okay, she's been kind of maybe not neglecting her, but not been around her as much because she's been at the hospital with her mother, but it's still a very sweet interaction.
Yeah, you could tell they missed each other.
Yeah. So, very, very different. And so, yeah, I mean, that was basically her thing. She's still dealing with her guilt and considering going into the police station towards the end. We'll go back to that scene, though, because there's a reveal in that scene that I think we should save until we actually get to the end of the discussion. But
right.
Yeah, but that was pretty much it. I do like how she refers to her class that she's doing as a cash cow, because I was thinking that as she was. It seems
so ridiculous, and then her dad's like, "What the hell's going on in there?" It's singing for sleep apnea. It's a cash cow.
Well, it's the same with Ed and what's the face, Madeline, because they go to this couples thing, and it's just people walking around and hugging and shit. And I'm like, did they have to pay for this? Like, are they making? Is this people?
They pay good money. For stuff like that.
Yeah, are they making money off this? Because I feel like it's a bit of a crock. I mean, that's how I was feeling.
There's a lot of those types of classes.
Yeah, and
anywhere, especially around places that have money.
But it feels like they're connecting a little bit over how silly it is, because they're kind of joking about it. But it actually gets to a point where there's a real, because on the way there she keeps saying keep an open mind. She tries singing to him. It's the whole thing. And on the way back, though, after joking about it, they actually have maybe the most honest conversation they've had, where Madeline opens up and actually kind of actually hints at what her parents went through. Doesn't really get into it, but does allude to it at one point in the conversation, and talks about how she's basically got this mistrust of marriages, and she wants theirs to be good, but she kind of has this inherent feeling with them. And she even admits that she'll probably mess up again. She'll probably screw things up over and over again. She'll probably never stop. But the one thing she does say at the end is that, but the next time won't be infidelity. Like, I'll promise you that. I can, and Ed doesn't obviously go, oh, I'm so happy you said that. I'm in love with what you just said. Like, but he does sort of. He looks back at her.
It's going to take a long time for him.
Yeah, he looks back at her in a way that says, I believe what you just said. Even if it's not like instantly kind of, okay, right, we're back in love and all the rest of it. it's the first time I think he believes what she just said to him.
Yeah. Well, he says in the car, like, how can I ever trust you again?
Yeah.
And that's what he's really racking his mind around. And I think there was a moment of trust there at the end. Because for some reason, Madeline being in her car is when she could be the most honest. That singing scene on the way there was so cringy.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
She had to wait for a line to be sung before she could sing it.
Because you didn't know the lyrics. And I can relate to Madeline on this front. I don't often remember lyrics very well, as anyone who knows me might attest to. But however, there's an emotional scene with Ed and Chloe where Chloe doesn't even say anything, which hurts me a little bit because Chloe's best asset is her motor mouth. But she comes in when he's cooking dinner and she just kind of comes up and hugs him, and he kind of responds to it and actually instead of like pushing her off after like a quick hug to the side, he kind of turns around and actually gives her a proper hug.
Yeah, and he starts crying, and then I start crying, and everyone's crying. It was so emotional. A really good scene.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't crying, but
well, I was crying.
I know you were crying, but you cry at commercials, so
it's true. Sometimes I really want a Diet Coke.
He really liked those tea bags. He really wanted them, and they were just out of reach. It's just so emotional.
I don't know what commercial that is.
Not do I. I was making something up. I'm sure there's some tea commercials.
No, this is America. We don't drink tea.
You still have tea. You still have tea commercials. America has all sorts of teas that I've never heard of. Oh
yeah, Twinings tea.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. So we have this emotional scene, and then the other thing we really get with Ed is towards the end of the episode, he's in a bar, and who should walk up behind him? Now, I actually heard her name because she said her name was Tori in the scene, but
she has another name.
Yeah, we're not calling her that because Tara named her something else a few episodes ago, and she will forever be referred to as the booby lady. So, and
I was waiting for her to come back. Our favorite character.
Do you know what the sad part is, though? And this, I mean, I feel like this is intentional, though, is that I did notice the boobs first. And what I mean by that is that before she actually comes up beside him, there's like a shot of him just sitting at the bar, and you can actually see her, not her head, because her head's cut off at the top of the frame. You can see her just slightly out of focus coming towards him, and I immediately went, that's the booby lady. And then sure enough, when she actually stepped up beside him, I'm like, yep, I was right, the booby lady. And
she orders 2 bourbons, one for Ed, one for herself, and starts touching his shoulder at the end. Yeah. There's no dialogue because we have music going during this montage scene down at the end. Yeah. But I think we know where it's heading. Either she's trying to instigate something, and we'll find out next time probably
she definitely is.
If Ed goes for it or not.
Well, what threw me off though is the last shot of this is he looks over at the table she came from, and her husband's sitting there. Now, this could just be...
Yeah, that was weird.
This could just be a representation that he's thinking of him in that moment because of what's happening. Or...
I kind of got that vibe too.
Yeah, because I feel like she wants revenge, right? I feel like she wants sex revenge. And...
She does.
If you take this as literal, he's sitting there, I'm like, wait... Some sort of menage a trois action going on? What's going on here? Like, what's she trying to recruit him into here?
I don't know. The show's never really done that before. Like, if they show a character, it's always through like a flashback. It's not like a oh, it's like he's in the room with us, watching us.
So you think he is there? Do you think he's sitting there?
Yeah, I think he's there.
So what do you think that means?
Either she's just trying to get revenge on him by flirting with him at the counter or at the bar.
Okay.
Or maybe it is like a go on, take my wife and let me watch kind of a deal. Who knows?
Hi Ed, have you noticed my fake boobs again? My fake boobs? Remember I told you about my fake boobs? Well, I've always wanted to be tag teamed. Would you be interested in such a transaction?
Weird.
That's came out. That's really felt soapy to me. I actually have a few complaints about this episode. There's a couple of moments specifically that rubbed me the wrong way, One of them was
Yeah,
one.
I think this was one of them for me too.
Yeah, the other couple that rubbed me wrong. One was we've already talked about this plot. Is when Bonnie's mother wakes up and she says, "Kill me." This music cue hits almost immediately as soon as she says it, and it felt really cheesy to me. Like it made the moment feel really to me. I don't know.
I think the whole ending scene felt a little bit soap opera.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Or like a different show all of a sudden.
Yeah, the other one that felt off to me, and this was mainly probably due to the acting of the kids, was the schoolyard bully scene.
Oh yeah, that happens right in the beginning.
Yeah, the bully, this bully comes up to Ziggy and is like, "You're a mistake. Oh, I heard your mum was hot. Is that true?" And I was thinking, where's the other two? Come and defend them. And sure enough, Max and Josh come running up, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on? Leave our brother alone," kind of thing. And at this point, it's kind of sweet. They're sticking up for him, and they're kind of united. And then there's quick flashes of the three of them just beating the everlasting piss out of this bully, to an unhealthy degree, right? So sure enough, Jane and Celeste are called in, and they have to deal with this. And Jane has to ask, what did he say? And Ziggy admits it. So, and this kind of sets up some of the stuff as well that Celeste is going through with the lawyer, and that this is another sign that may be used against her. This is another thing for Jane to worry about, because Ziggy outright asks, "Am I going to become like him? Am I going to?" Now he's worried about that. And it makes sense that, maybe this is a bit young for it, but it makes sense that eventually he'd feel that way. That he'd worry that he's going to be like his father.
Yeah, and it also says that the story about her assault and rape has gone around.
Oh yeah,
like some stranger kid knows it. I guess he's not really a stranger to Ziggy and the boys, but like other moms are probably talking about it, and that's got to be difficult.
Yeah.
And also with Ziggy bringing up whether or not he's going to become like his father. We still kind of get that contrast between Ziggy being such a sweet boy, but still highly influenced by aggression that he sees when his brothers become aggressive. And they're clearly like the ones who have, I don't want to say Perry's genes, but Perry's influence, because
he was around.
He was there to raise them.
Yeah, because obviously the other counter scene to this is with Celeste at dinner with the kids, and she's like, "Okay, you put this kid in the hospital with a proper busted lip, so we're going to have to talk about this, and who started the violence, who kicked this off." And she's like, "Max, was it you? Because he was the one that obviously was hurting Amabella last season." And he's like, "No, I was calling Dad a rapist," and blah blah blah. And she gets really emotional, and she's trying to tell them that they can't use violence, and she kind of pleads with them. And then Josh is like, "Why are you being such a bitch?" And she shouts at him. She gets really emotional very quickly. And it kind of goes back again to what we were saying last week, where there's actually an argument that she shouldn't maybe be looking after the kids for a while. That maybe they do need some outside influence, but obviously we sympathise with her because the way Meryl is going about it and her motives for going about it are obviously in the wrong place. But this scene is another example to me of instead of her explaining anything to them and trying to actually get to the nitty gritty of why you shouldn't do this and explaining right from wrong, she just yells, "You can't do that. You don't do this. You don't speak to your mother that way. You just don't do it." And then cries. And there's a few scenes in this episode where she's with the kids, and when she's telling them about the possible hearing that's happening and maybe being questioned, and they're like, "Oh, what do we have to say, Mum? We'll say anything. We'll protect you." And she's like, "Oh, you don't have to protect me. I protect you," kind of thing. Which leads us to all those scenes where she's got a lawyer now that Renata's set her up with, and she's going to meetings with Mary Louise and her lawyer, and again gets very emotional because she's been accused of all sorts of things, and
Mary Louise is not playing fair. She's doing whatever it takes to get Celeste to break in front of the judge or other lawyers,
and of course,
so that she's just trying to prove that she's unstable by goading her.
Oh yeah, and of course it's always under the guise of being nice. It's always, "Now I want you to know, Celeste, that I don't think you're a bad person."
And then it's like, fuck you.
That's basically the scene. And
Yeah.
Celeste's lawyer is like, you're a lawyer too. Like, you should know that being quiet is the best option here. And she's like, no, I can't. I'm not gonna sit there and take that.
Yeah,
And
she gets to make an opening statement and we just sit there quietly. Like,
yeah,
she's right too, though. Like, I think, she's Mary Louise is playing cheap tricks here, and she's being played by Meryl Streep, who's the greatest actress probably of all time, and Mary Louise probably is also one of the greatest actresses. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be she's really good at goading people and getting her way and causing influence, and who knows what the judge is going to see, like if she's going to see straight through her tricks or if she's going to side with her.
yeah, it's going to work. Because they give her this offer. They're like, hey, we don't want this to go to court, so here's a deal that we can maybe shared custody where you have them Monday to Friday. Mary Louise will have them at the weekends, and you'll also have to go undergo therapy and counselling for alcohol and substance abuse. And it's kind of at that point where she just loses her shit. Says, "You are not taking my kids. No Saturday, no Sundays." And her lawyer, when they get out, says like, "Hey, that was a pretty good deal. Like, I mean, that's as good as it maybe is going to get."
Yeah.
Maybe you should listen to that. But no, Celeste is going off. But it leads to this big problematic thing where she's going to be questioned in court, and all of the Monterey Five are all on that list of witnesses and like character judges and all that, and they're thinking this could be a trap, that if the other lawyer is actually working with the police, the idea that once they're under oath, if they're asked about the murder of Perry, they'll be committing perjury if they don't, like if they don't admit what they actually did.
Right. Yeah, we get the true intentions of what this hearing is going to be about.
Yeah.
Like, is it ever really about the kids, or is it just about Mary Louise finding the truth?
Yeah, it makes me wonder. Like, did Mary Louise always have that part of it planned per se, or
She is evil.
She is pretty evil,
Malicious, and she really. I mean, that's what the first episode was, when she was with her and Madeline were together, and she said she wants to know what happened that night, and I don't suspect I'll get the truth from you. So.
Do you know what? I was worried actually about the idea of Perry's mum coming in and like investigating the murder herself. I thought that was going to be really hokey, but the way they've kind of done this, where she's kind of manipulated through basically just being a straight bitch, like and manipulating the system into like forcing people into a position where they have to kind of maybe open up, is actually really interesting and also true to her character, but far more interested in her playing some sort of like amateur detective, which I thought was maybe going to be like, her going around and questioning people and things like that. I was worried they were going to go down that path, but this is actually far more, I don't want to say grounded per se, but it's far more devious and in keeping with like the characters they've set up and within the world that they've set up in the show.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's just good stuff. So they're all worried about it, and we'll see. And I expect this is kind of what's leading. This is now. I mean, it was kind of clearly this anyway, but I think now that we're really settled on the idea they're going to be questioned on this stuff, and they're all having to like confer over this, like this court case, this custody case, is kind of the backbone again of what the season is. Kind of like how Perry and Celeste's relationship was the backbone of what season 1 was, and everything else was happening around it. It feels like that's the case this season. So. And it makes sense that 5 out of 7 episodes in, but we've got a clear sense of what the season is now. But
yeah,
I was definitely feeling
that's
that.
true. Only 2 episodes left.
I know. Time flies.
I know.
Time flies. Just think, if this was Chernobyl, this would already be the finale.
Don't bring that show up. It's too hard. I miss it.
Hard like graphite. Just a minor point on Nathan. He buys a treadmill for Bonnie and a book about running. Alright, so what have we got left to talk about? We got Jane to talk about for sure. I forgot Jane last week. I can't forget Jane. And Renata as well, of course. So Jane, obviously a lot of this stuff intersected this episode, but her own stuff was largely with the boyfriend and trying to be intimate, but ultimately, and getting further than she has before, but ultimately breaking down in tears after a few seconds of kissing and I don't want to call it groping. It was like just contact.
But she was like trying to get him to do more. She's pushing herself, and it's just too hard for her. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it's a really heartbreaking scene, but it's kind of contrasted nicely with the scene where he's playing with the boys, and like he seems like he's in good dad mode. Not that he's a dad yet, but like he's kind of filling that void for them on this day, and just up to monkey business, I suppose you'd call it, lifting the kids up and tossing them around and all that kind of thing. But I think this neatly leads us to the odd reveal at the end of the episode. Which I would also count in the ending feeling a bit soap opera, because I'm like, did he have to turn out to be someone? Did he really have to have a twist?
Yeah. Do you know what the twist is? Like, is he a cop, or is he like someone who has to check in with the police station, like he's got a past or something?
I think the implication is supposed to be that he's a cop and he's like spying on Jane and the others with his position.
Yeah, like he's assigned to get close to her.
Yeah, but that, I mean, honestly, unless that's the whole premise of the story is from the start, anytime that comes up in a movie or TV show, it always feels a bit forced and hokey to me. Because I don't know if I buy that cops actually do this. I'm going to get close to the
there
perp.
are undercover cops.
Yeah.
I think they're generally used to find, like, I don't know,
gangs
narcotics
and
dealers and
yeah,
the one famous guy who infiltrated the Hells Angels and stuff like that. Yeah.
But this is literally, okay, someone's in a suspicious case, get close to her, seduce her, and find out what she...
Well, maybe he's not a cop. This also felt very soap opera to me. He could just be somebody who like is on probation and has to check in or something.
I feel like even
either way, he's coming out of the police station
Yeah.
when Bonnie is outside of it and sees. I think they see each other. She definitely sees him, but I don't know. There's an implication that they kind of lock eyes.
Yeah. I mean, even if it is just that he's got a dark past, I also think it's equally soap opera. Well, I think
that
either
Jane would find somebody who's great, and then he turns out that he's got secrets.
Yeah, I mean,
not really so great.
Either way, it feels soap opera, and because the one thing I didn't like in season 1 was the twist that the Perry was Jane's rapist, because it felt like the TV forced trope kind of thing.
Yeah, but it has led to a pretty great season 2 so far.
No, it has. They've mined a lot of good stuff from it, but it does make me trepidatious that they might pull something similar. At the end of this season, where they pull some sort of big reveal that this is actually Perry's brother who never died, or like like something nonsensical like that. Like, it wouldn't shock me for them to go down that path if they did. So I'm keeping tabs on the red flags, and I would describe this as one.
I didn't love it. I don't think that he needs to turn out to be somebody, but I hope they do something good with it if that is the case. Yeah, because I have been really enjoying this season. I like these characters a lot, and the real stuff, the emotional stuff, the stuff where it's just one-on-one with their husbands or their mothers or whatever, their kids, like that stuff is so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the big overarching like murder from season 1 was the part that I didn't cared about the least.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you this, I don't miss the interview segments from season 1.
No, those are awful. Yeah. I'm so glad they don't have them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because by default, this is kind of the weakest episode of the season, just because it does have things.
A lot happens. Yeah, I kind of agree.
There's a lot.
Plus, Renata doesn't get a whole lot to do this episode, and she's the best.
Sure, she's your favorite. I like because a lot happens, but it's definitely got the most things to complain about. Whereas other episodes, I feel like I had not much to say negatively. Whereas this one, I've got a few scenes, a few ideas, a few moments that don't quite add up.
The aliens line, kill me.
Yes, the aliens line.
And her dad, or Bonnie's dad, saying that, she's had premonitions in the past and sometimes they come true. And she says, you're drowning. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want it to come true. Not because I don't want Bonnie to drown, which of course I don't, but I just don't want spiritualism to be right.
Yeah, the twist in the finale is going to be that the aliens come down and beam someone up on a spaceship. That's going to be the
A
ending.
chest burster comes out of Bonnie's mom.
I don't know. Actually, I think that would go so far in the other direction that I'd love it in a completely different way. Because it'd be so batshit insane.
Ridley Scott's been executive producing the show the whole time.
Oh no, Ridley Scott's lost his touch. I don't want him involved in anything alien related. No, sorry.
This is all just one big teaser trailer for the next Alien Covenant film.
Oh god, let's call it what it is. It was Prometheus too.
Maybe we'll get Paradise Lost after all.
Oh no, I don't want it. I don't want any more Ridley Scott alien movies. That the man has hurt me too much, too much. Anyway, so Renata gets her remember photo shoot from earlier in the season for Women in Power magazine. Her photos are not going to be in it because of her bankruptcy, because they want to show women her actually on top, and she is definitively now not on top. Yeah. Her poor assistant, try to be nice to her and offer her things, gets yelled at out the room.
Yeah, you're right. We did get one decent Renata scene.
Yeah.
Of her yelling.
And Celeste is trying to be nice as well, and she's just livid. And it's kind of just a punctuation point in the whole thing, because everything we've said about Renata this season is what Gordon has done is removed all of her accomplishments, and this is just kind of the idea that photo shoot showing she was in power taken away. That's it. Like that's the underline of it.
It's the world acknowledging that she's losing power, or she's lost it.
Yeah. So the other big scene with Renata though is that she has this cockamamie idea to talk to Mary Louise and try and talk sense into her, and instead all that happens is that Mary Louise makes her feel like absolute shit.
She's got so much ammunition. She's in a house, a beautiful house, expensive house with zero furniture in it. Yes,
which she brings up multiple times. And like what I liked about this is that it was kind of, do you know how in like some movies, and this happens in wrestling a lot, is that you set up how bad the bad guy is by having the other, because Renata was very much an antagonist in season 1, right? She was kind of a bad guy. I mean, obviously nothing compared to like Perry or anything like that, but she was an antagonist to Madeline and Celeste. She was kind of and Jane.
Yeah, she was in the beginning.
And it, and obviously she's became an ally, but she's still got that fire. She's still got that, that snappiness that'll like tear people down.
Yeah.
So
she's always defensive. Yeah.
So how do you sell the new big bad? You put the old bad person against them, and you have the new big bad demolish them. And Renata can barely get a word in. She tries to fight back, and Mary Louise just slaps her down verbally every single time. And it shows us just how much worse Mary Louise is. It's that simple. It's actually really effective in what it's doing.
Yeah, I mean, she's speechless.
And when
her goal was to get Mary Louise to drop the case, and Mary Louise just saw right through it and just used all the ammunition that was in the room, which was a lot, despite there not being anything in there.
Yeah, she made her feel guilty for not being at home with her daughter all the time. Yeah. She made her feel guilty for the bankruptcy and not having furniture. And then she's like, oh, I was hoping this would just be about tea, but I suppose people don't really do that anymore.
Mm-hmm. It was just, Mary Louise is just, she's so good at being vicious, even though she's in this, like, frail, passive, elderly, I don't want to say too elderly, but like elderly woman who's like nobody will ever attack, it seems. She just has so much power. She should be in that magazine. Yeah, she's great.
The more we get of her, the more it's really clear why Perry is the way that Perry is.
Yeah.
Like if she was this way with her kids, if she was this kind of manipulative and abusive, emotionally, doesn't justify anything that Perry was because he was a monster, but it's certainly you see the dots, you can connect the dots a little bit and go, okay.
Yeah.
So
if he had a different mother, would he have been so abusive and angry and unstable?
It's worth knowing. So that was most of the main beats of the episode. There was a lot of jumping around this one though, I felt, more so than usual. I think it's because so many like characters like came together in a group and then disbanded again and came together again, and
right.
because we had scenes with Renata and Celeste, we had scenes with Celeste and Jane, we had scenes with all five of the ladies together, and all
their secret meeting,
all their
spot.
individual plots as well. So yeah. I wonder what because obstruction, I guess, would be the big charge that they would get now for the lies.
It would be perjury.
Well, not yet. They've not been under oath yet.
You mean if they confess now?
If they confess now, yeah. If they just said, okay, let's just admit what we did now, and
I don't know. Yeah. Well, what's going to happen is that they're all going to be in court, and they all have to say what happened, and if they catch him in a lie, then it's perjury.
Yeah, and Bonnie's
and
the danger
maybe
case.
Murder. I don't know if they can be charged for that also.
Well, once they know that someone pushed them, then it becomes a case of, okay, we have to prove, if this is manslaughter or whatever. But
do you think? Did you watch the Coming Up Next Time?
No.
Okay.
Was that interesting?
Well, yeah. I mean, it shows a little bit of the courtroom.
Okay.
And they are kind of suggesting that Bonnie's going to confess, but I don't know if it's a red herring or not.
Putting it in the next time on makes me think it won't go through exactly as it makes it look, but
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe she's talking to someone else she thinks she could trust. Who knows? Maybe her mom, who's like still out of it.
So this is a frustrating episode. I think there's a lot of great moments, but I also think it has the most negative moments of the season as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
but I'm still, I still love these characters, and I still love all the one-on-one moments we get. And we got some decent scenes with Ed in this episode too. Yeah,
and did he take Booby Lady up on his offer, or on her offer? God, I can't speak today.
Guys still got the boobs on the brain, huh?
But, yeah, it's just the boobs. That's all I'm thinking about now is boobs.
Happens to me too. Yeah, I get it. There's also another in the beginning. He's got a scene with Nathan. Again, Nathan tries to get extend an olive branch, and it's just like, we're not going to be friends. Yeah, like ever. Just accept it.
He tries to apologize for the party thing, and do you know the thing is Ed's kind of being a dick, but at the same time, I actually kind of get what he's saying. Like, we can just not like each other and be comfortable with that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have to be friends. But Nathan kind of running after him, yelling something at him.
This has to be the last time that Nathan tries this, right?
No, next time he's going to come up and say, okay, I listened to what you said. You're right. Maybe we don't have to be friends. I understand that. How about we shake on it?
Now we're in agreement.
Yes.
Let's go get some breakfast or something.
And Ed's going to be like, no.
Why you gotta be such a dick?
I love it. All right. That is episode 5 of Big Little Lies, season 2. So let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. You can like and subscribe and all that stuff. You can get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show, where can they do that, Tara?
You can check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/milefuzztv. You can donate as little as $1 per month, and with the $1 you get bonus episodes of other shows that we do, and some shows you get a week early. Not this one, but other shows.
Well done. Very good. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, check out other stuff we're doing. Me and Carl reviewing Handmaid's Tale every week. I'm doing Legion every week on my own. We're working through Stranger Things season 3. We just finished Dark season 2 on Netflix. We're still working through Tool to Die Young from Amazon, and you can of course
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Well, it's been like a good month now since Chernobyl finished, but
word of mouth is spreading.
Check out our Chernobyl reviews. And if you're interested in more content with me and Tara specifically, check out our weekly classic Twilight Zone reviews and our sci-fi movie podcast, The Atomic Cinema Experiment. The last episode that went live for everyone was I Am Mother, which was a Netflix movie, and the next one going up for everyone is Primer. So look forward to those.
Yeah. If you need a proper breakdown, maybe not ours, but
I drew a diagram. There was a diagram there. Okay.
Yeah.
that has been the show. Thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?